Marcos.
Pelosi. Deli's looking kinda empty.
I thought I told you I didn't want you goons back in here unless you got orders from... Is that...
A notice. Putting it out to all the families.
What kind of notice?
A vendetta declaration straight from Mr. Crimson himself. He wants every family around to know this one's his, and that anybody who takes him out first is gonna be the next target.
Satan's prick. You better come in. Cheers. So, how'd this guy do to Crim?
What do you think? Didn't follow orders. Ran out on an arranged marriage. Not to mention his broad smoked nearly every goon he had.
Fuck. Connection to any other families? How bad is it?
No connection. This was independent. As for how bad, Chazwick's on the wall. Crimson's on the warpath, and he wants everyone staying out of it.
Shit, that personal? How'd he manage that? I mean, look at these photos. Guy looks like a fucking twink. Who's he to Crimson anyway?
He's his son.
You fucking with me? His own kid?
Yeah, and now Crimson wants everyone to know.
Then, why bring this to me? I'm a trigger man like you, Mark. I can't do shit that you can't. Why not bring this straight to my boss? I know Crimson's notice would get you a meeting with Mo...
Cause I'm not here to deliver the message, Pelosi. Your boss is already in a meeting with Crimson, discussing the details. I'm here for you.
What are you talking about? I ain't done nothing wrong.
True. But Crimson knows your boss. And he knows you. You've been keeping tabs on him, haven't you, P?
This guy? I ain't never seen him before, Mark. You gotta...
I was told to only ask once. We know your boss keeps tabs on everybody involved in every family, Pelosi, and we know you were assigned to this twerp. You know everything I've told you, and more. So I want everything you got on him, now.
Alright. Look, Mark, we're friends. If they find out I told you this stuff, I'm a dead imp.
And if you don't, you're a dead imp now. And that ain't metaphor. And last I checked, we weren't friends, since I'm a goon and all.
Alright, fine. Just wait a second. Alright, you want everything? Here's everything I got.
Keep it in a bulleted list, P?
Numbered. Here you go. I got like 50 or so facts on this MOXXIE guy that you may or may not already know.
Good. Now start talking.
Right. Well... Now, you and I know imps are born in hell, but there's this one guy I've heard of in the mortal world, Richard Horvitz. Sounds just like the kid sometimes. And he sounds also like Crimson. You and I both know that can't be a coincidence. Him and his wife have these little coffee mugs that they made for each other with their faces on them. Cute as shit, but should be easy to poison. There's only one time I ain't seen him around. That was the time my boss sent me to go out looking for a great prick stole us ours go eat it. Seems like Mox and the Owl ain't as close as like his boss is. He's the only imp in his crew with digigrade legs, which looks about as uncommon as being left-handed given how many imps have plantigrade legs. It looks like he inherited those legs from his mother, while he got his horn shaped from Crim, though the kids are definitely more rounded out than his daddy's. Guess that lets you know how soft he is. Speaking of his folks, his boss says he was born in Wrath, where his mother's from, but he grew up in Greed, where Crim's from. Given the lifestyle, I guess I don't blame him for that choice. The kid and his family seem to have met Don Vito Corleone, well-known mortal gangster nicknamed the Godfather. He's also got a phone you can tap if you're desperate, though I've only seen it once. His boss doesn't know the number either, so you're just gonna have to go through someone else to get it. Apparently, it's also a running joke that only his friends know how to spell his name right. People call him Roxy, Foxy, or even MOXXIE in that stupid Fisher's case, but everyone else seems to be able to spell it right. Kid's also got an obsession with art. Heard he went to this place called LA, bought a bunch of music and art from a bunch of schmucks just cause they made it. Speaking of LA, I figured out from some dates in their background and their calendar that he went up to the mortal world about September 20th, 2021, meaning his birthday has recently passed. What a birthday getaway, huh? Looks like he gives in easily to peer pressure, though. After a bunch of folks started calling him fat for a few months, he actually started dieting. Kid's gonna blow away in a breeze if he gets any lighter. Turns out though, funny thing, he never told anybody about the business. Kept all that secret from his boss and his own wife for who knows how long. Never even introduced them. Wanted to leave that life behind. But you and I both know how that works out. He's bisexual, but you already knew that. What you might not have known was that it seems to be a running theme in the business. After all, his father hated it, but was willing to marry him off to another man anyways. That and half his men are already gay, so I don't see how he's got a problem. Apparently, Chaz wasn't kidding when he said him and MOXXIE used to get freaky. Slept in his own room the night before their wedding, already had a full 126 gallons of lube before and like 3 big drums in his own hidden bed that he called the cum zone. Can't say I wanted to know that, but I do now. Here's the kicker, right? Thought it was a running joke that they said MOXXIE had no last name? No sir, that actually is his last name. He's literally just MOXXIE no last name. And married to Millie no last name, which means she even took the name. I guess if you're gonna be stuck in an institution like marriage, you might as well try to have fun with it, right? He's got more friends outside of his little office, too. You can find on his Voxtagram he's got at least 3 others named Randall, Oliver, and Steve. Maybe you can hunt them down for some dirt. It looks like he took pictures of all his escapades, too, including a picture of his wife on their anniversary, when they dressed up as cats. Is this that furry thing I keep hearing about? Whatever, I'm moving on. In their wedding picture, it looks like they went and got married in Wrath, since the sun's just one oozing fireball. How romantic. Speaking of his photos, you know he wanted to fuck the Phantom of the Opera guy, but apparently this guy's got an obsession. Takes a selfie after watching the play and he's in tears. I don't know, I don't get these artsy types. MOXXIE learned his sharpshooting from his mother. It seems like she didn't like him using that skill for Crimson's business. Hey, why drive a race car if you ain't taking it to the track, eh? He is scared of authority figures. Go figure, right? The second prick Stolas looks at him, the little bastard's all trembling in his boots every time.
Shame on you!
Apparently him and his boss have closer histories than we thought. When he was helping his dad drown some sorry sap, you can see a burnt Ace of Hearts card along with others in the water amidst all the hats. Same one his boss has got in his office. MOXXIE's big heist, the last time anyone in the family saw him, he was with Chaz. And the two weren't just robbing any bank, they were robbing Mammon himself. You know, I still don't get why we got prisons in Greed. Speaking of the prison, apparently they got a lot of fucking inmates over the years because MOXXIE's jumpsuit says he's prisoner 6984. 69, sorry. That's also where he met prisoner 6983, his boss. If you listen closely to what he says when they meet, he says babysitter will kill me if I don't get back soon. You like kids? Cause, hey, let me tell you, they're a fucking delight. Just proves the fuck I never met mine. A long time ago, MOXXIE had some reservations about offering a target. He didn't want to kill a wholesome looking mother, but said maybe like a shitty dad or a mob family, that's understandable. Sound familiar to you? I'm sure you overheard Crimson use the word before, calling his daughter-in-law a beard. In this context, it's basically a derogative term for a woman that a gay man marries so he looks straight to his friends and family. I guess it makes sense whenever Crim's involved. MOXXIE does seem to suffer from nightmares of his parents being murdered. Considering one was murdered and the other did it, I can imagine why, can't you?
What you dreaming about?
He also seems to suffer from panic attacks, or at least his wife thinks he does. Wonder what that little twink considers panic, given I haven't spied him having one yet. His musical talents sure don't lack up in the mortal world. Apparently while he was in LA, he won a car-sized bag of trophies that included like plaques, ribbons, roses, medals, at least 2 Oscars? He was there for a f***ing day! For some reason, he and the hellhound Luna just don't get along very well. They're arguing all the time, he's even pushed his boss to reprimand her himself. Something about her not doing her job, which frankly, I get. Apparently, he's into some freaky shit too. I never met a man who likes being thrown over his wife's shoulder while bound and gagged and slapped on the ass before, but he certainly seems to like it. They've got disciplinary shit in that office, the likes of which I don't even think Krim would stoop to. They got like a bottle labeled piss that the boss sprays MOXXIE with as a deterrent, and the kid thinks we're the bad ones. I'll tell you one thing you can use to your advantage though. Kid's clumsy as all hell. Coins, grenades, fucking wood. Kid can't just hold on to shit unless it's a gun. Despite his weak little frame, that little shit's more durable than most anything I've ever seen. He's taking walls landing on him, sharks mauling him, doors slamming into him, more beatdowns from stronger demons than I dare count, but he's barely scratched every time. But for all of MOXXIE's skills, he apparently didn't know his boss's own moves. You know, he didn't even know they were working with pricks stole us until that idiot Blitz blurted it out.
You what?
You will want to watch out for his wife, though. It looks like even he doesn't know how far she can go. I've seen fear and disgust in an imp's eyes before, and he gave her both. He wears a bow tie every f***ing where he goes. If you're looking for a signature fashion to hunt for, sure, but like, every f***ing day, get over yourself. He's worn one since he was a baby, throughout his entire childhood. The only time we even see him without one is when he's thrown in jail. You want to talk about romance, then MOXXIE seems to deal in grenades. Both for his wife and for that schmuck Chaz. The only thing that seems to make him like other people is throwing a bunch of grenades around. Only difference is, he lets his wife throw it. For some reason, he hates cursing. He doesn't say nearly as many bad words as his folks or his co-workers. Hesitates to say a bunch of nasty shit.
Oh, sit on a MOXXIE.
You sit! Sit on a... and the... do your job!
He's always saying that weird phrase of his, oh, crumbs. No idea what that's about.
Oh, crumbs. Oh, my crumbles. Oh, crumbs. Oh, crumbs.
If you're lucky, he might eventually take himself out. I've seen his kitchen. He keeps the salt shaker and the pepper grinder next to a bottle that looks like wine for his cooking, but you can actually see his poison of some sort. Whether he needs fucking poison in the kitchen, I don't know. We both know he's a music snob, but he's also a fashion snob too. I mean, you ever seen a shapeshifting magic before? And the kid acts like that ain't shit just cause the clothes ain't what he wears. You know he's got his own little custom pea shooter? You know, that toy that's got the music note on it? Apparently he used to have a collection containing at least 2 other revolvers that also had music notes on them. Hell, he still got those too. But whatever Krim feels now, he might have cared for the kid at some point. One time he took the kid out for a disposal, and the kid was even wearing a life jacket. I guess his father wanted to make sure that he at least survived the trip, even if the other guy didn't. MOXXIE's wedding with Chaz was pretty much empty, you know that, but all those lovely guests that Krim invited, well, my footage ended up getting censored, but if you look closely, he went through the fucking trouble of filling every seat with one of those, guests, quote unquote, wearing a suit and a damn shoppy smile. This was the best comparison I could find, but he apparently lands in a Yamcha pose when his dad teaches him some manners. I don't know who the fuck that is, but my kids won't stop fucking yelling about it. He does have a funny pattern on his hands, if you're looking that way. Those aren't fingerless gloves he's wearing, his hands just look like that. I've heard MOXXIE say him and his crew never dealt with the government up there before, which tells me they don't do government contracts. That long in the mortal killing business and not one politician? Bullshit if you ask me. I did hear at one point he got his hands on a blessing-tipped rifle during the Harvest Moon Festival in Wrath. Rich piece of hardware that. I ain't seen it since. Wonder if he melted it down or not. That's all I got, swear to you. His boss is pretty destructive, so I couldn't get much else from all the equipment he wrecked, but I've got a guy. Runs a channel called Hazfans. Check them out if you need any more.
Good. You've been a good asset, Pelosi. Crimson will thank you for this.
I'd prefer he didn't. Like I said, if anyone knows I told you this.
Relax, Pelosi, relax. I'm an imp on my word. Nobody's gonna know a thing.
Alright. Now, how's about you and I catch up a bit, eh? I missed you last week's game. Elaine is...
Well, look at that. Looks like I didn't miss you at all.